back to Between Us Girlies. I'm Casey.
I'm Bran.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Bailey.
Welcome back, guys. So we are going to do something new at the beginning of this episode. We want to start saying iconic girly quotes, okay? These are quotes you hear from your friends, your favorite celebrities, people you pass on the street, just iconic quotes that you think the girlies should hear.
Good.
So I have one today, and this is from the iconic TikToker Mads Mitch. It's a viral TikTok sound, one of my favorites. How hard can it be? Boys do it. And I think that is one of the best quotes because it's like no matter what you're stressing over, if a straight male can do it, why the fuck can't we? Mm-hmm. There's almost nothing that a straight male could do that we can't do better.
I absolutely agree.
I think it's just motivational, a good thing to start with your week.
Absolutely.
I love
I like
that
that a lot.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, oh my gosh, guys, we have to recap our first event.
Oh my God, yeah.
We had our first event last week, and it was so much fun. To anyone who came, thank you guys so much. It was seriously one of like the best nights ever.
Mm-hmm. You cried.
I did. I cried. I was so emotional. It was just so like touching to like hear people like connect to us and talk about such specific things that we've talked about on the podcast that they relate to. And like they're bringing up like such specific moments. And it's like, wow, people really like listen and like what we say.
Yeah.
I was like, I still can't wrap my mind around it, I guess. Like, it's like, wow, you guys listen to this podcast and what we're listening to. Obviously, it's great. But it's just amazing.
It's cool to see it in person. So for the people who don't know, we had an event last week at Urban Exchange, which is a really cool consignment, I guess you could call it, thrifty store in Fishtown. And it was kind of just like a sip and gossip and meet friends kind of event where we had like some really cool as Brandon calls them, activations to participate in. So like permanent jewelry, tarot card readers, etc. And it was just so cool to see all the girls that came out to support and, you know, just people who wanted to make friends, people who wanted to learn more about the area, the podcast, Philly. So it was really cool.
It brought out the most like perfect, beautiful crowd. Like I loved, there was like probably 4 or 5 people that came alone, which I loved and like was so happy to see like people just wanted to come. And what made my night was they came alone, but by the end of the night, they were in a circle of friends with either other people who came alone or other friend groups that welcomed them in. And it just felt like so impactful to see like the purpose of the event was to make friends and people were doing just that. We have to give a shout out to Star.
Yes, we do.
Queen Star.
Star is one of our followers. She has been listening to the podcast religiously. She traveled from Baltimore to Philly. She took a train, did a whole Philly weekend and started with the girlies event. And that was so touching. I've hosted many events in my life and I've never had that happen. So that was like super emotional and full circle for me to see that someone like loved us so much and that they wanted to travel to meet us. She was incredible. Star, if you're listening to this, we absolutely adore you.
Yeah, you're a girly for life. It was so cool to meet her. And to just get to talk to her, and like she came from work and she was telling us about when she listens to the podcast, and I just feel like those are the moments that like make this so much more special. It's like, wow, we're really like making an impact.
I feel like my heart grew 10 times the size, like the Grinch. I'm not a Grinch, but like it just grew that day. And like you said, I remember I was watching these girls like, oh, let me get your Instagram. And I was like, oh, this is so touching. Like you guys are just like this small little thing. Just you guys became friends. And I hope to become friends, like lifelong friends after listening to this.
I also loved the amount of college students that came. So we had a huge Temple turnout. Shout out Temple. Even though I went to Penn State and we're better at football. But we had a huge Temple turnout and I loved the questions that they were asking. Like there were so many students who wanted to make a podcast or wanted to pursue things with their friends or just like general questions about like living, laughing, and loving. And they just came prepared with questions. And I felt like a big sister. Like I loved answering them.
They were a lot of people were asking about like just career and like how you do the 9 to 5 transition like from college to working. And I was like, I wish when I was in college I would have went to something like that to ask those important questions. It was so good.
Yeah.
And people were coming up to me and they were like, I hope you don't mind, but I'm doing a day in the life video and I want to include this. They were like, we love your vlogs and we want to be an influencer. I was like, this is so cute. Of course I don't mind. Like take as many videos as you want. So it was really, really, really special. And it was so much fun. I mean, we had raffles. I mean, Urban Exchange was absolutely amazing. All of our vendors were amazing. And I just think it was great and we can't wait to do it again. In the future.
Yeah, I feel like it was like a great like brainstorming for like different ideas. Like every time I was talking to someone, I was like, well, what if we did this? And would you guys come to an event like that? And I feel like it was just really cool to get like direct feedback from people for more events because we definitely want to do more of them.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So that started off our weekend. That was Thursday. I did not spend my weekend with you guys. So how about you guys fill me in on Friday? How was it?
Oh, we had a time last week.
Boy.
Yeah. We have been like kind of crazy recently.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on, but like, we have not been having as much fun like as we have these like past few times that we go out. I don't know if that's a problem or a good thing, but our friend Liz, shout out Liz, had a little Galentine's pregame. And let me just say, this girl hosted the most immaculate adult pregame that you could have asked for. Not only did we walk in and she was making us all cocktails, she had provided love and honey fried chicken, tater tots, made buffalo chicken dip. I had dinner at this pregame. I was fed. I got drinks. I got tea. Yeah. It was the longest pregame I've had in a while. Like, I think, what did we get there? Like 8:30. And we didn't leave her house. Yeah, we were literally at her house for 4 hours, and not one of us really ever wanted to leave. Like,
it was the best pregame I've been to, honestly, in like a year.
Yeah. The food looked so good.
And she made cookies, funfetti cookies. And to the point where we were like drinking all that. We were watching dance music videos.
Yeah.
Like, we all sat on the couch before we even went out. Like, that's how you know it was just a good long pregame. Like, it was so much fun.
And there was like, we did everything. We took pictures, but it wasn't chaotic. Like, at one point we were like, let's just all go to the roof. 2 minutes, we took our flicks, went back down. No one got depressed about how they looked. The energy was just so high. We were chumming it up. Like, it was one of the best pre-games that I've been to in like, and there was only 6 of us. And I feel like that was like the perfect amount. We were all just like vibing.
It was great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
So we were having difficulties. You guys still aren't filling us in on what bars we should be going to because that is what we are struggling. But I was outvoted and I really wanted to go to Vinyl. But at the same time, I also didn't want to go to Vinyl because I don't want to run it into the ground. So instead we go to Barstool. Well, we walk into Barstool and You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift is blasting, which, love that song, love that girl, but not the time or the place for it.
No.
Every person in there is a ripe 21, maybe 22, jumping up and down. I felt like I was at a college frat party, and I looked at the girls and I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Turn around. Full U-turn. We cannot. Nope. I don't even want to check out the downstairs. This is not good.
We walked
in. And this was a Friday?
This was Friday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was the craziest thing I've done. We were so excited. We pulled up with our favorite bouncer, shout out Barry, was outside. We gave Barry hugs. We walked inside. We said,
full scene.
And then
oh my God, it's good to see you. Hugs. It was us. We didn't even like make it to the downstairs. It was, we stopped and
we
halted.
didn't make it to we barely made it through the entrance.
Yeah.
Before we looked around, we all said, oh no.
Was it like a certain kind of night or something?
I think it was a Valentine's Day themed party.
That's what I
Yeah.
was
Save
told.
those for the weekdays.
That was a sweet 16.
It was
Yeah.
It was rough.
I did a
It was really
quick
rough.
scan, like 1, 2. I said, yeah, this is not for us.
It's not for us.
God.
So we went to Wicked Wolf, which, let's not pretend like that was, in terms of age of the crowd, too much better. But the vibe started off very different. First off, shout out to Jamie, the manager / owner
Shout
of
out, Jamie.
Wicked Wolf. We walk in. He said, stay right there. Gives us all green tea shots and us all a can of Surfside. So, sir, thank you for that because we needed to like get drunk after that Barstool experience. Then our friend Austin Furdock, hey F-Doc, he is a bartender at Wicked Wolf. So we go to his bar, which is perfectly like placed downstairs, kind of away from the crowd. And we were able to kind of go in the back because we also were very old to be at this bar. And he's giving us Gatorade shots. Before you know it, our whole group is on their ass. We are fucking like, I was the most sober out of the bunch, and that's a problem. If I'm not as drunk as you, like, ooh, job. You might want to work on some things at home. So yeah, it was just, I was having a grand old time.
I thought it was one of the best nights in Philadelphia because we were in the back, but I feel like it was so nice on Friday, which is so odd that there wasn't that many people out, like in Wicked Wolf, because it's a big area, but the place we were at, I feel like it was our own section.
Yeah.
And you know it's a good bartender when you ask for water and he says, we ran out. I said, please, Austin, I'm begging you. He's like, we ran out. I was like, God.
I asked him for a pickleback shot, to which he gave me a cup of clear liquid and said, smell it. I don't know what it is. I said, ooh, Burdock, this is actually olive juice. He said, oh, you're right. So I don't really think he had a clue, but boy, did he do wonders for our group. I would give him anything he needed. A kidney.
Did you guys end the night there?
Yes.
Lights came on. Well, at one point, I was just, because I was looking at the time and I was like,
We got kicked out.
About just moving
No
along.
recollection.
Because I remember it was like, I said, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm going to start leaving. And she's like, you're leaving? I said, it's 1:45. Like, we are about to get thrown out of here. Like, there is no reason for us to be staying.
Lindsay's been in her party girl era.
Everyone bullies.
Let's
me.
talk about
We're not bullying you.
That's a great
We're
thing.
embracing it. It's about time. It's about time. It's you who stays the latest.
I'm having a grand old time, girls.
And we
living
love
that.
that for you.
Just enjoying life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Friday. I'm gonna be totally honest. I didn't do anything for the rest of the weekend. I was not. Nope.
Oh, wait, now did I?
Out of commission.
We
did check out a coffee
yeah.
shop yesterday. The three, me, Bailey, and Lindsay. We checked out this new place. What was it called? Menagerie or something. It's something French.
Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
It begins with
In
an
Old
M.
City?
No.
Well, there
Northern-
was.
there is one in Old City.
Is one in Old City, but they put one in Northern Liberties
Oh.
too. Yeah.
So we went there yesterday. We all had a lot of work to do, and we also were brainstorming for this podcast, which was fun. But that was really it for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl. How was your weekend, Case?
It was so much fun. So I went to New York to celebrate my 2-year anniversary with my boyfriend. And
Insane.
it was I know, it was crazy. We had the best time ever. We got there Saturday morning and we just ate our way through New York, pizza, donuts, everything possible. Then we went back to our hotel, got ready. And then we went to a Michelin Star restaurant.
How was that?
It was insane.
What did you order?
So it was a chef's tasting menu, but it was inspired by the Chinese New Year. So it was all Asian inspired. And the first dish was a bao taco.
Oh, wow.
So it was a taco with short rib, but flavored like a bao bun. Oh my God, I literally could have asked for 50 of them. I thought they were
amazing.
so good. And the staff, I actually didn't know that workers could be that nice. They were the nicest people ever. At the end of the night, we ended up taking shots with the owner because we became close with the girl that Jake said she had a crush on me. But this one server and I kept flirting, and then by the end of the night, she was like, "Let's do a shot together to celebrate your anniversary." And I was loving it. And Jake was like, "You are way too happy to be taking a shot with her." But my purse spilled over at one point, and I went to go pick it up, but there was a lot of stuff happening. So I was like, let me just let these people pass and I'll pick up my purse. By the time I looked back, 2 servers had walked, cleaned up the stuff in my purse, and then got a towel and put my purse on top of the towel on the ground. They're like, "We don't want your purse to touch the ground, but this way it won't fall off the chair."
That's so sweet.
It was just service I've never had before.
What is this restaurant called?
I love
It's called
customer
63
service.
Clinton. And it's so cool. It was really, really good.
How are the portion sizes?
Well, that's the interesting thing with chefs' tasting menus. I feel when they're really fancy, they're so fucking small, but they space it out and they give you drinks that you do end up full. But if you handed me those 7 plates just first and I ate them all at the same time, I'd be like, okay, what's next? But they spaced it out really well. And me and my boyfriend did this really good idea. So I think if anyone is in a relationship and you're celebrating something, I came up with 6 questions before we went to dinner. And I sent them to him a week ago. And it was what was your favorite memory this year? What did we learn about each other since moving in together? What's something you're thankful for?
Nice.
Yeah, it was just thought starter questions. And it was a really nice way to spend our anniversary night. And then, oh my God, then we went to brunch the next morning and Anthony from Queer Eye was there.
No way.
I was freaking out. I was so fucking obvious too, which is so funny because we all know when we go out and somebody recognizes brand, you can so see them be is that Brand Flakes? I was like, oh my God, is that Anthony? So loud. And Jake's so fucking clueless. And he's like, who, where? And it was Jack's wife, Frida.
I've heard of that.
I love that place.
Yes. So it's a cool, nice place. Nobody was fangirling about him. And I was standing in line, shaking, trying to calm myself down. And I just stared at him the whole time. But it was really fun. And then we came home and watched the Super Bowl, which stunk. Kansas City won.
I know.
Good for Taylor, I guess. She's really having her moment.
No, I mean, never mind. Let's how was everybody else's weekend? No, I was gonna say real quick. when you were saying that like we've been going so crazy recently, I think it's because we're only going out one night a week, so we are making it count.
That's true.
I was thinking that. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's true. I feel like also like we're drinking more at the pregame. Or I feel like I don't know, maybe it's because we do dinner too. Because like even me and Jake, like by the time we got to our actual dinner, we had already had 3 or 4 cocktails before that because we were like kind of pre-gaming. I feel like we've been doing that recently. Like when we go out to eat, we have like 3 cocktails at dinner and then we go to the bar and start pounding them in.
Yeah, I think we're like drinking more socially in the beginning, and then like it just happens. It's kind of dangerous. I feel like because we're drinking more socially, but we're still like ripping shots like we used to, and also like, people keep buying us shit.
Yeah,
like like literally every bar we go to, someone's like, do a shot with us, like do this, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't say no. Yeah.
Let's keep shouting them out. If you want to be on the podcast, buy us a drink, we'll shout you out.
That's crazy.
What were you gonna say, Lindsay?
I have something dark to say.
Oh no.
I think that we get so excited to go out sometimes because we're adults. You know when people have kids and they're like, oh, I can't wait to get away from these kids. Our job is kids, bills are kids, issues are kids, our man's kids, children. Like I think sometimes going out, like you leave the kids at home, you're just with your girls and it's a great time. Like
true.
I don't have any worries when I'm out.
Therapy for me is a night out with the girls. Like every single time, it's gonna do it for me.
Truly.
Period.
Can't wait to see this weekend. What are we up to?
Let's roll into, so we went over everybody's Fridays, Saturdays. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of Sunday and what everybody in America was watching. So I told everybody here, I'm like, please, I said, please text me when the halftime show is about to begin because I will not be watching this football game. I have stuff to do and watch. So everybody was really nice. I was actually watching the second quarter with like 9 minutes left because I was like, I should be doing like podcast research for the commercials. So the first commercial I saw that was really funny was the not Brad Pitt. It was the Dunkin' Donuts one. Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I thought that one was really funny.
I thought that was so good. I don't know what other ones I saw. I think I wrote them down. Did you guys
I feel like
one?
Super Bowl commercials are just meant to be so weird that they were all just kind of absurd, but I liked them. I feel like they're all, and also some of them like the Michael Cera, the fact that like that's been going around that he like owns CeraVe, or like he was sending out PR boxes, which I thought was like the smartest fucking marketing ever.
I have the shirt. Lindsay was
Wait,
like,
really?
what the fuck are you wearing? And
Terrifying.
the shirt. It's literally just a shirt of Michael Cera with CeraVe.
Wait, that's so
I just
funny.
love like smart marketing. There was another commercial and I can't remember what it was for, but there was like 4 or 5 characters like in the commercial.
Was it the Judge Judy, the Elf? Elf did a commercial
I did see
with
that.
Judge Judy, but it was Judge Beauty. You would have loved it, Lindsay.
Damn,
It was
I didn't see it.
It was Judge Beauty, but so smart. They used this cast from Suits, and I love Suits, and that's what one of the, I think it was like 20 billion streams this past year on Suits of like Netflix. So they used the cast from Suits because it's like a law show. And then I don't know if you guys remember that show Jury Duty on Amazon. They used that guy, and he was like in the background. It was just like Elf Beauty.
Did they get Meghan Markle in it? Because she was on Suits.
No,
right?
they didn't. No, she was on Suits, but they didn't get her.
Okay,
I thought that was so smart.
I'm going to say one thing. I didn't give a rat's ass about the game or the commercials. For me, the Super Bowl was Usher Bowl. And I'm going to say this. That young man did not disappoint. Not only did he perform exceptionally, his song choices, his opening, the band. When Alicia Keys came out, I could have done without her in every way, shape,
Her
and form.
first note was a little
I thought that was my TV. I said, oh, babe.
It wasn't great. But when her came out with that guitar solo, had a 30-inch weave on the ground, back bent, with her playing that guitar, then had a little moment where she sang after. That is my Roman Empire.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I had no idea who that was. I was like, oh, it's just
I thought it was Northwest.
I was like, oh, guitar.
She was radiating Northwest
I
tour.
genuinely turned to Jake and go, oh my God. And then obviously I realized it wasn't. And I felt so stupid. And then I saw like 5 TikToks of people, but like, does anyone else think that was Northwest?
You
I was
guys.
like,
It looked
my
just
fault.
like her.
It did.
I'm like, she has to be someone if they're having the camera that close up on her.
I think that her has one of the best voices in the game right now. And I love to see a black girl playing guitar. She ate it up.
No, she did a great job. The roller skating was so fucking cool.
I knew you loved that part.
It was so I was getting so nervous that someone was gonna fall.
Well, Usher did. I don't know if you saw the TikToks earlier today. So when he went under, I think it was will.i.am, who I thought was Kanye West. I didn't know that one. I was like, this is so controversial. I'm like, to have Kanye West at the Super Bowl, but I'm like, oh, it's will.i.am. Once I like heard the song, he just changed. I haven't seen will.i.am in years.
No, I did not
didn't look like him.
I was like, what? Like, okay, anyways. So will.i.am, he like separated his legs. You know when skaters like they go underneath someone's legs? So he didn't separate his legs big enough. Wide enough, and Usher kind of got caught. So the way he like went up, he like twisted his knee a little bit, and I like saw a few TikToks, and you like watch after that, he's like standing a little weird, like trying to like.
Oh my god, I saw that in the moment, and I was like, oh, he kind of. That wasn't very smooth, but I didn't like see it close enough to like see if he actually fell.
Yeah,
I did see TikToks about one of the strippers fell off a pole.
I think she just dropped. Like you know when strippers just like can like drop from the pole. She just did that because another stripper, or not a stripper, they were dancers. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, she was like
another girl fell from the pole very rapidly as well.
They ate it up.
I will say, at one point, my only con, I feel like Usher. He wasn't singing. I think he was out of breath.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I understand, but I'm like, you can't like let me hear you. I'm like, we can't hear the crowd on the TV. Like I'm yelling at home.
That's exactly what he did at the concert we went to. All of the iconic lines, like in every song, like I can't think of them right now and I can't sing. But in all of the iconic lines, he would hold the mic out to the crowd. It's like, that is the one line you should be singing.
Yeah.
And he was doing it last night.
Yeah.
Even when he was like that, like opening note to Superstar, like I thought he was singing it, and then I heard a backtrack, and
it was all
like,
the backtrack.
Come on, dog, you could have just sang that a little bit.
Like he could have just like gyrated.
that dance.
Yes. How did you guys feel about him taking his shirt off?
Oh, absolutely. Wow.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Two opposites. I thought it was
he is doing a Skims campaign, right?
He's well built for. I would take my shirt off too if I look like that. I don't know how old he is, but like, come on.
Can we talk about the Skims campaign thing? Like how that was totally like so thought out. Like Kim K announced his halftime, and in turn she got him as a Skims model. Like one thing about Kim or Kris Jenner, because I'm sure she was behind it, they are going to get the bag. They're gonna do it. So good for them. I'll be honest, I did not watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the game itself was honestly pretty boring, but the Super Bowl, the halftime show was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
And did you guys see Nickelodeon did?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I thought that was so
It was
cute.
so funny. Yes. I thought it was really cute. I've been seeing them all over TikTok.
Also, I know you didn't watch it, but I don't know if you guys heard in the background of Usher's performance, they were like mixing like early 2000 beats within the songs. Like I heard a Freakily. I thought they were bringing out P.D. Pablo at one point because I heard Freakily come on, and I was like, wait a minute, and like they were mixing that, and there was another.
The Yin Yang Twins at one point. I was like,
they were mixing all of those in the background. I'm like, oh, that's so genius.
Wow.
Yeah, the edible was hidden right when that came on, so I was like, let's get this show started.
Alrighty, so for today's pyramid ranking, I think we have an excellent one. Best types of pregames. And I'd like to start off with the worst. Starting at the bottom of the pyramid, I would like to say that unfriendly and unwelcoming pregames are the worst of all time. And I'm going to say that because if you've ever walked into a pregame where you've just felt like, why am I here? It makes you want to go to bed. Like it can honestly change the entire trajectory of your night. Like if somebody's just in a group and they don't welcome you, or like they don't have anything to offer you, it's like, why did I come? You know, what an utter and complete waste of time.
I feel like I have learned that I feel like I've seen people's true colors at pregame sometimes. Yeah. Like I've walked into a pregame and someone that I thought I was cool with, I was like, oh, she doesn't fuck with me. And I learned that in a pregame setting sometimes. Because like your friend invites you to something.
That sounded personal.
Well, it's happened to me before. Like your friend invites you to something and you go and you can tell that your friends' friends don't really like you because they're at their friend's pregame and like now you're kind of intruding on their territory and they're like, hi. Yeah. I hate it. I think it sets the vibes up so bad.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
And I think if no one else has anything to say about that, I think it definitely piggybacks into that number 2 spot of worst, where it's someone who is a poor host. I don't mean broke. I do, but a poor host and also unprepared. If you're going to have a pregame, have cups, bare minimum ice, maybe a chaser if you're feeling frisky, but be in a Go Puff location where I can get my own. Like it's just unacceptable for you to invite people over and then to just like not be prepared with anything to offer me.
That's the key word. If you're inviting people, then I think yes, obviously. Obviously, if people are inviting themselves, I'd be like, fuck you, you wanted to come here, like all this stuff. But if I was ever having a pregame and I didn't have stuff, I would also be courteous and send my guests a text like, hey, BYOB, like I'm not providing, or like if you have a cup. So I've asked Bailey one time to bring a roll of paper towels to my pregame, and she's done it before. So I think it's okay if you're unprepared, but just communicate with your guests. Don't say, I want to have people over, and then we all come and it's like, girl, you don't even have a speaker. Like, what?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, being unprepared with that sucks, but being unprepared with music, like,
That's
I'm not saying
crazy.
you need to have a Spotify playlist synced up, but you need to have music at an audible sound and be prepared to like either take requests or like give it to someone and be like, hey, you want to play like be aux? Like, I hate going somewhere and it's just like awkward silence. Music just like keeps a vibe going if it gets a little awkward.
And with that, I hate aux police. Be friendly on the aux. Like, I get it. Just take requests. If you're having people over, take requests, add it to the queue. It's not that hard to do.
And if you pick up that task, be about it. You don't apply for a job that you aren't going to take if you get it. If somebody puts you on aux or you put yourself there, know that that's your role.
And keep it professional. It's a job. I don't want to hear no outside sounds, nobody's stories on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook Live, phone calls. Put your phone on mute or silence. And if you know you're going to be getting phone calls, texts, and especially if it's that person's pregame and they have a thing where people have to call them to like let them into their building and it's stopping every 5 minutes, do something else.
Been in that role before.
And read the room. If you love a song, but you can tell it is not hitting with everyone else, listen to that later on your own time. Change it. I have this happen all the time where I'll be putting on some wild EDM song and I'm like, oh, no one likes this one. I'll listen to it later when I'm on the treadmill. You've got to be able to read the room and energy. I think, though, taking all of this into consideration, the next part on the pyramid, honestly, is hosting your own pregame, because there is a lot of pressure. Everything we just said, you have to be prepared. You have to be, with speakers, people coming in. Then you also got to clean up. And, you got to deal with people, just the annoying things that come with hosting. Can I bring 15 people? Can I bring this person? What time should I come? No one is self-sufficient anymore. Ever since the internet has taken over, we have lost critical thinking. We have lost answering your own questions. We have lost all grounds of communication. People just do not think. And when you're hosting a pregame, that is so stressful. When you're just like, I'm trying to set up. I don't know if your 16 friends can come. Like, just think critically.
Who wants to roll up with 16 friends? It's not a party. It's a pregame.
I could think of a few people. But
any old hill.
Let me be quiet.
Well, that can lead us into our next one. A rushed pregame.
Ooh.
When you just want to go, we just got over talking about how our friend Liz had an exceptional pregame because it was no frills and we were having so much fun that it lasted a lifetime. Unless it's the smallest pregame of all and you're just doing it to have a drink, I don't want to come to your house for 30 minutes. I could have spent 30 extra minutes doing my hair or something else. Don't rush me out of your pregame. I'm here to stay.
I hate that.
Yeah. Not every night is a pregame night. Pregame is a time and a place. Like, if you have a hard stop, act accordingly. Maybe that's not the night. Like, if you have to be somewhere at 11 p.m., like no questions, then organize the pregame to start at 9:30. Don't tell people to come over at 10:30 and then be like, okay, now we have to go. Like, it doesn't have to be a pregame night, but if you're gonna do it, you have to do it the right way. No one wants to feel like they're getting rushed out the door. At the same time, there has to be a time to end it, and you don't want to straggle. Like, you don't want to, just idly stand there when it's time to like wrap it up. But a rushed pregame is no bueno.
Yeah, or getting that text being like, oh, we're gonna leave when you get here. Like, why?
Yeah, like, oh, do you want to just meet us there? Yeah. You're like, my Uber's 2 minutes away. I'm almost here. And it's like so awkward when you're walking and the music's gone. Everybody has their drinks poured out.
You don't
when there's no need to rush. Like, you're going to the same bar usually when this happens that you always go to, and you know exactly what the night is going to be. Like, if there's a special event, like I said, and a deadline, and that makes sense. But girl, if we're going to Barstool again, why do we have to be there at 10:30? No, absolutely
But you
not.
made a good point. Another thing with rush pregames is someone who overstays their welcome.
Yep.
Some people need to know when to get out. Like leave. Everyone's gone. The music is off. There's no food left. We don't have ice or straws. Take your ass home. We're all going to the bar.
Yep.
That's a good point, because I was going to bring up, like, in the same respect, like, you kind of need to be a good pregame guest, especially if this is a pregame that has been discussed in a group chat or has been planned, especially like if Liz went to that effort to plan it or whoever's hosting it. Like, sometimes pregames are a mathematical equation where, like, if one person is missing, the whole thing is wrong. Like, the vibe isn't right. You need someone there to, like,
Lindsay.
keep it going. And so it's like, sometimes if you're a guest at a pregame and you might be that, like, missing piece, you have to be a good friend and go, because, like, they might be waiting on you. What are you talking? No.
This is for a newer side note. Lindsay and I have been analyzing this, like, part of her life where, like, sometimes the vibe really is drastically different if Lindsay isn't in the room. Like, Lindsay's just like such a presence. She's so stupid and funny and just inappropriate and like really like you're probably the least awkward person I know. Like you're just an oddball, but like you're unapologetically yourself. So sometimes I will put pressure on Lindsay, be like, you have to go. Like the group dynamic is going to be weird if you are not there, and
you're not a good person.
You have to realize that sometimes like you are just, even if you're not doing anything, you just might be the person that two people know. And if you're not there, you're making it awkward for everybody else.
Absolutely agree.
What are some good pre-games, you guys?
That was beautiful. I was gonna say it, and then I heard you hit that note, and I was like,
that's why I was quiet. I was like, they're rolling their eyes. I'm like, I know they're gagging, like in the bad way, but I got y'all good. I think the unexpected pregame is always fun.
Yeah, that one's like the opposite of the one that we said is the worst. Like the worst is the unwelcoming, and this one is one that you don't know everybody. And you just walk in and you are just, it's like your family. Olive Garden, when you're here, your family. They just open you, they give you a shot. Also, like when you go to a pregame and you like think you're like, oh, I'm gonna walk into like this house and I'm not gonna know anybody. And then someone random that you're actually in the mood to see happens to be there. You're like, hey girl, what are you doing here? Just like, oh my God. And then you just like, it starts the night off so like energetic. And then like, I feel like there's always really good gossip at these. And like, cause you catch up with people that like you probably only see here and there in a party setting, but then you're like, oh my God. Like the next day you're like, did you hear what so-and-so said last night? Like just like really fun vibes. And I feel like those are great pre-games because like, those are honestly how you make friends as an adult. Like I've literally like in college, like you make friends that you meet at parties and pre-games. Same thing as an adult. Like I will become friends with people because we've pre-gamed with them. And then next thing I know, I get invited to their pre-games. And it's just, I love the unexpected pop.
A pregame's also such an easy place to be a nice person because like all you have to do is like if you're hosting it or if it's your friend's pregame and you see people walking that you don't know, it's like, hey, do you guys want to do a shot or do you want to make a drink? And it's like such a simple conversation starter, and then you can like just take it from there, and it's like really easy to have a conversation. Or you see a girl going to the bathroom, like, oh my God, are you looking for the bathroom too? Like it's just really easy to be nice at a pregame.
I agree.
That's so true.
I always feel like I bond with like an unexpected pop. It's like when we're at some, not a random place, but like we have mutuals and they're playing such good music. And I'm like, who is on the aux? Because I find out who's on aux. I'm like, you're doing such a good job. And just that little interaction, I'm like, I just love that. I'm not like kissing ass, but it's like just that little bit of a party. I'm like, it just makes it so much better.
You're also like, I don't know what the word is. The only word coming to mind is like, you're just like a great politician. Like this happened at my birthday pregame. I like got to watch you in the wild, and I've like thought about this moment since. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
I was like standing talking to someone, and you were just looking around the room, and you just picked two people to walk over, and you were like, "So guys, how are you guys doing tonight?" And it was so confident and like casual, and then they were just so talkative, and you stood there, and then you like got done, and I saw you walk to another crowd, and I was like, "She is just warming these people up." Like,
come on now.
Yeah, you're really good at that.
Wow.
You were a blast that night. I'm not gonna lie.
Chatting. Don't want to shut
What's the best one? Casey, you want to take it away?
It has to be when it's just like with your besties, with your girl gang, with the group of people you are so excited to see. Like you're in your Uber there, and you're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to tell them what happened today, and I can't wait to like show them this thing that I've been like thinking about. I feel like they're just
we've had some really fun ones. Like the girly gang pregame is like, it's amazing no matter what size it is. It could be literally the 4 of us and the energy's amazing, or we could be like 20 girlies and like we're all just like having so much fun and everyone's dancing and taking pictures and ripping shots. And like, we've had a few of those at our house where like we have literally 15 girls in our house, like no guys, and we're just having like the best time, like just pure vibes.
The energy's up. We also do compliment shots. So I feel like we're all just very nice to each other. So a compliment shot, I start by example. I give Casey a compliment and she takes a shot. Then she gives Lindsay a compliment. Lindsay takes a shot. Am I doing that right? Yeah. And then so on and so forth. And I feel like that's just a good way to do it with a group of people who don't hang out all the time. So I love like talking to people I don't usually see. And I'm like, let me give this person a compliment, because like everyone needs a good compliment, and it just breaks the ice a little more. I mean, it doesn't break the ice.
Yeah.
You know, something I love about this friend group. So we do compliment shots a lot, and I love this group because if there's ever like someone that we don't know well, one of y'all compliments them first. And I'm like, they could so easily give me a compliment because we're best friends, but we make that person, you're right, you just make them feel so included. And like when you're, you know, a newer person or you're not as familiar with the people at the pregame, you might feel a little insecure, like, oh, I hope these people like me. So like getting complimented by someone, like I feel like it really puts that person at ease. And like, it's such like, it's something I've noticed us all do at once, and I'm like, that was really sweet.
And they're never surface level. Like
they like have to be deep.
Yeah, we make them very deep.
Like you can't say you have really nice hair. Like you have to be like, you're a really strong presence that always makes me feel comfortable. Like I've cried before at compliment shots.
We get deep.
I feel like also when we do compliment shots.
You are a child.
I know.
Goofy.
I know. When we do compliment shots, I feel like it's only at a girly gang pregame, so there's no reason for someone super random to be there. If there is, it's fine. But typically it happens where it's like a C-level friend, where it's like you don't really know them too well, but you know them enough. We always find a way to get deep. Like, I don't know how we do it, but like, I feel like our friend group has like a special gift where like we're just able to really pop off with the compliments.
Yeah.
I love those.
I feel like it is a good thing too, because we always whip them out when somebody's having a bad night. Like when somebody's freaking out about their outfit or something happened before the pregame and they're just in bad energy. Like someone in the group's like, all right, guys, we need to do compliment shots. And it really does just get that person like out of their head. So if you're like with all of your friends and someone doesn't like their outfit or doesn't know what to wear and they're freaking out, like once they're ready, just give them a compliment shot, and it is just something that like kind of resets the vibe.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, guys. What is oh my God. What is on everyone's TikTok FYP this week?
Mine's a little crazy. I don't know if y'all saw this, but it was these little girls that were in Sephora and they painted their faces with very dark makeup to mimic blackface. And their mother was with them. I couldn't physically watch the full video. Like obviously I watched it all, but I'm like, this is so disgusting to the fact that it's just wild to me. That's 2024 and blackface is still happening in our faces in a mall with kids that young.
No, with their mothers.
Yeah, it's taught.
Where they learn it.
Not to be bitch, but like it's taught. Like why is that still a thing? That's absolutely insane to me.
They also didn't look that young to me. Like they looked grown enough to know that that's not a decision. It's not like they just happened to like do it and didn't understand what they were doing. Like they were old enough to have a conscious decision.
Exactly. They weren't 7.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So that's been on my FYP. Make me a little sick.
I bet.
Yeah.
Damn.
Anyone have any light things on their FYP?
I'm trying to think.
I feel like nothing really has been like too crazy. I've been getting really weird TikTok lives.
No, like you really have.
I don't understand what's going on, but like
what are you seeing?
I keep scrolling and I don't know how to say it politically correct, so I'm not going to go into it, but very interesting people are almost like clickbaiting through TikTok live. Like they might have something that is like a deformation or a really intense injury, and they are kind of using it, I don't know, to get people to jump into the live. And then the comment sections are just like wild. Like, I don't know why this is on my FYP, but of course, every time I click into one, I get more. So,
then he shows me.
I've like showed Lindsay a few of them. She's like, what the fuck?
Have you seen the one? I don't know if it's like the guy, I don't think he has any eyes.
yes.
But
and I saw one yesterday.
A lot of people are
some people are saying that they're fake.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is like so horrible if that's true.
Yeah, it's absolutely
either
horrible.
way, like it's an interesting thing for sure.
Yeah.
But that's all I gotta say.
Anything light on yours? Because the only thing on mine is equally as dark.
What's going on with the algorithm, bro?
Mine, this is just a topic I've always been interested in. And I think I might have talked about it on the podcast before. I don't remember. But I am so interested in like family channels and like moms who exploit their kids. Jesus and there was this there was this crazy one that I won't get into, but if anyone is on that FYP, you will like see it. It was about this little girl, and this mom just showed a video that was almost like the worst level of like showing your kid you could possibly do. And it's just all these people talking about it. And I know the story. I've watched the TikTok. I've watched every single reaction. And yet every time someone goes to talk about it, I watch the full 2-minute TikTok of them talking about it. Like, yeah, like I get that way though. When something's on my FYP, I like can't skip past it. I like have to watch it, even if I know everything about it.
Oh yeah.
It's an addiction.
Well, mine is lighthearted. I just went to the Goog so that I would remember it. But the Google.
I didn't even know what that one was.
Google for what? Like your Google?
Audio listeners, y'all are missing out because Bailey's facial reactions are so good.
I had to go to Google to make sure that I like was pronouncing this right.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if you guys know the model Lucky Smith. He like is really prettier than all of us, but it's fine. So is his wife, and that's who's all over my FYP. She is the creamiest, cleanest, like goals of a woman that I've ever seen. She's so soft spoken and like, I always say like people are like long, like I almost want to like stretch them, but she's just like so tall and like she's just like, I don't know. She just radiates like classy clean. She'll make a video saying, I'm going to make something from scratch. Okay, cool. You're gonna make your own pasta sauce, your own pasta noodles? No. The other day she made a lasagna. She made the mozzarella from scratch, like fully like with the milk and then the pasta noodles and then this ragu. And she put it all together and she was like, a simple date night with me and my husband. Bitch, what about that is simple?
Did she make the baking dish too? Because I've seen them go that far.
No,
First, I'm going to take the clay and I'm going to make the ceramic dish that I'm going to cook this in. Nah, like there really are people like that.
Like she is next level. Like I don't even know what to call her.
What were you Googling how to pronounce?
I didn't remember her husband's name. I knew that it was like a very cool, like whimsical name, but I didn't remember what it was.
You know her name?
Nara, Nara.
I see a lot of TikToks which is like making lunch for my like husband or making dinner for my husband, and like it just makes me feel like a shitty girlfriend. So I'm like, I would never do that for Jake. Like,
here's what I'm not gonna do.
Damned.
Make mozzarella. I'm going to go to Trader Joe's. I'm going to pick up a ball. They come sliced. You can get them all types of ways. And I'm not going to be making my own lasagna mozzarella. It's just not happening.
Gonna get that Stouffer's. Dead ass.
All right, y'all. Let's end on a nasty note. Any immunity necklaces for this week?
Nasty note.
Mine ties in with TikTok. And I was racking my phone brain. Google was Googling stuff.
The Goog?
Yes. I am sick and tired. Ever since we could repost, I'm seeing my For You page is filled with everyone's repost.
Oh, sorry.
So it's not my For You page anymore. Your repost, not yours.
I don't repost.
I know.
I forget.
And
I always forget to do that.
But like besides our podcast, but I'm like, I'm only seeing like everyone I'm following. So it's like other influencers. It's crazy. And I'm like, I don't see my own For You page anymore. I even went to like the settings. I'm like, how do I get this off of here? I went to Google. I'm like, how do I get this off of here? And it just couldn't help. And I'm just sick and tired of it.
I like the repost thing because I feel like my FYP sometimes is so wild that like I kind of love seeing what other people are like really sticking with, because I feel like I follow people that are very similar minded to me. So for me, I usually I feel like I'm more than likely to like a video that was reposted in all my FYP than like a random one that pops up. But that's just but I understand that could be like
that's fine, but mine was every single one.
That's so weird.
Like it got like so chaotic, and I went to the settings and you can refresh your FYP and like it will restart it all over. But I wasn't gonna do that because I'm like, I love my FYP, but like since then I like kind of stopped not using it. But I took a break and it's back to normal.
I will say so I am an intentional reposter. I only either repost podcast clips because obviously self-promo, or I repost something that like I feel like is really powerful and I would want the people that follow me to see it too.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay, Brandon. Like this one pop up on your list, you reposted it.
I feel affected sometimes. I'm like, I want to spread the knowledge. This is powerful.
I feel like I don't have any knowledge when it comes to it because Brandon, I posted a video in Miami and it had like 200 views and I didn't realize that Brandon reposted the video, and when I woke up it had 10,000 and I was like, what happened? And he's like, when I repost your stuff, like people who are on, like who have my whatever on their For You pages see your stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay. The other day I went through both of your TikToks. I'm like, I'm gonna repost my girl.
I could tell you guys were doing it at the same time.
I was so excited. I was like, oh, I hope that like their videos like go viral. Like
mine got more views and I was like, oh, what happened?
But I also sometimes do treat it like it's Twitter, and that's just like that's my Twitter brain coming out. Like I'm a huge Twitter person. I love it. So when I see something stupid, I'm like, let me repost this so that everyone can crack up.
I will say, when it's something that's so vulgar and stupid, I like to repost it because I'm like, I don't want to send it to you guys. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't want to tag you guys in the comments or like send it in the chat. I'm like, I'll just repost it so it'll eventually show up. Or like that way you guys can see it so you don't send it to me.
Yep.
But you know what I see a lot on my notifications? Bailey Witherspoon liked your repost.
I see it too.
I see it a lot, Miss Bailey.
It's on my For You page. How am I supposed to do? It's in my face.
I don't think I like ever see it, or maybe I just don't pay close enough attention.
Mine was probably a glitch, and it was just like so bad for the one day, and I was like about to start crying. I was like, I just want to go through my For You page.
Entity? We cannot talk today.
Who's
Any
she?
immunity necklaces, you two, Lindsay and Brandon?
I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Like I'm all set on immunity necklace for now. Hit me up next week.
Yeah, I'll have one next week. It's your turn to have one, Miss Nice Pants.
It's not that I'm nice. It's just that I know I'm annoying. So like, how can I judge other people for being annoying?
That's okay.
Like,
That's the whole point of a podcast.
No, it is 100%. But like some of the things I would make an immunity necklace about, I'm like, I do the same fucking shit. So like I can't make it about other people.
What?
Are you on TikTok side or my side?
I like that you said that. I was texting my friend the other day and she said, let's own our ugly. And I really enjoyed that phrase. Maybe that's the girly quote of the day that we end on. But it's okay. We can own our ugly. You can have an immunity necklace and admit that you are part of the problem. Taylor Swift did it. We can do it too. It's me. I'm the problem.
No, I call myself annoying all the time, but I don't want to give myself an immunity necklace. Too good for that.
Well, I'm definitely irritating. And
Next week, come with something nasty to say. I'm trying to see you get evil.
Okay. Okay. Trying to see me get canceled. Speaking of old videos go viral, really quick, I had an old video go viral.
Which
in
one?
the comments. One I made 2 years ago about Jake spending money on our anniversary dinner. He spent like $2,000. I don't know. Each of our dinner was like $800. I don't remember what it was. And I made a TikTok and I was like, when your boyfriend just spent $1,000 on dinner, but you called the $13 Uber home. This video did nothing when I posted it. Maybe 20 likes. This shit blew up. All the comments were like, you're a waste. He doesn't deserve you. Like, learn how to make your own money. It was really difficult.
I gotta go.
Anyway, I had to delete it because I wasn't in the right mental space.
Oh my
Anyway, guys, I hope all of you have a great rest of the week, and make sure you keep everything between us girlies.
Bye.
Bye.